Hello and welcome, my friends. I am Miranda and you are here with May Yoga. Today we are going to be doing a full Hatha practice. So we'll have some lovely sun salutations, some balance work, some floor work, and finishing it all with that beautiful Shavasana. Now for props, I do want you to of course have that water as always near you. I've got some awesome mint from the garden here. And then I do also invite you to have a towel, a small towel or a cushion, because we are going to be doing some work, so you might need this under your knees just as a little bit of padding when we get to that part. If this is your first time practicing with me, please check the description below this video and find a link for a separate video called Tips for a Safe Yoga Practice. Watch that first. To begin, we will start in mountain pose, a standing pose at the top of your mat, so I will see you there. Okay guys, meeting in mountain pose and Tadasana. Bring the hands together at the heart. Just take a moment here to really center yourself before we begin. On our first sun salutation set, we will be moving very slowly and holding it to kind of let our body warm up gently. Okay? So closing the eyes for a moment. Taking one last slow inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Open the eyes and begin. Bend the knees slightly, swoop those arms up, just going to a straight line to begin. Getting nice and tall here, maybe moving the hands in circles, warming up the wrist, looking up at the sky. And then palms facing each other. Inhale here. Exhale, hinge at the hips, begin to draw the arms straight in front of you until you reach halfway, and then curve the spine, let yourself fold forward. Not really trying to pull here, just letting gravity start to kind of warm you up, loosening the spine, warming up the hamstrings, maybe do a little wiggle, kind of letting the body loosen up nice and easy. Pedaling the feet out for a moment, warming up the ankles. And on your next inhale, we're going to go to halfway lift. So inhale, squeeze those shoulders up to your ears. Think of drawing those shoulder blades behind you, like squeezing them together. Drawing in the navel, strengthening your core, looking down at the ground, with a flat back. Taking a breath in here. And then exhale again, forward fold. We're going to start with the left foot, stepping it back into runner's lunge. So having that front knee at 90 degrees so it's stacked over the ankle. Stay up on your fingertips with me here if you like, giving yourself a little bit of space to start to open up the hips. Holding here. And then grounding your hands, opening the fingers wide, pressing the palms into the mat. You're going to inhale and then exhale. Step that right foot back and come to a high plank. So it's going to hold here for a few breaths. Planks are awesome for warming up the whole body, of course. Strengthening everything, looking down at the space between the hands. And then breathe in. And we're going to come down to the mat by bending the knees first, keeping the hips tucked up. Lower down the chest. And then the chin. Elbows are kept close to the sides of the body. You can close your eyes here and relax for a few breaths. Squeezing the lumbar area of your spine. And then completely lower the body down to the mat, moving into a half cobra. Hands are below shoulders, pushing yourself up, gazing forward. Keeping those hips slow to the ground. Elbows tucked to the ribs. Nice. Now lower back down to the mat and then just do a few couple of cat-cows to warm the spine up more. So knees come under the hips. On that next inhale, drop the belly, looking forward and up. Exhale, curve the spine, drop the chin. Going with the breath here. Last one. Curving that spine. And now back to a neutral back. Tucking those toes under on your next exhale. Move into those gorgeous downward dogs. So pick those hips up and send them back. Coming to down dog. Now for this down dog, if you want, maybe just keep a deep bend in the knees here, letting the focus here is going to be on your back. So you want to have a nice long spine, pressing into the palms of the hands. You can even pedal your feet out a little bit here, warming up the calves, the ankles. Last breath. And again, working with the left leg. You're going to inhale, bring it up behind you. And then exhale, swoop it to the front. From here, we're going to do a little bit of a hip flexor movement here, kind of warming up again. So inhale, moving towards the front of the mat. Exhale to the back. Just doing 3 of these, breathing more space into the hips. Exhale, and then inhale, step that right foot forward and fold. Holding in this forward fold here. If you like, maybe making a little bit of an arm bind to bring some focus to the lower back, so space between the pinky finger or the ring finger. Hook that into your elbows and just let your head hang down. Releasing the arms, bending the knees slightly to take the pressure out of the lower back. Inhale, reverse swan dive, coming all the way up to the top, palms touch. Go ahead and interlace the fingers, putting the palms facing out and up to the sky. Dropping the shoulders. And then bringing those palms together. Exhale, hands come back to the heart. Taking just a few slow breaths before we move to the right side of our bodies. Again, still moving slowly, letting the bodies settle into poses and warm up. And then open the eyes and we'll begin. Bend the knees, draw those arms straight up. Now this time we're going to go into a slight cervical back bend. So keep this tailbone tucked under, keep the pelvis tucked forward, and then just move the arms and the shoulders back. There should be no strain on your lower back here. This is all in the upper back area. Looking up at the sky. And then inhale, rise up. Exhale, again, hinging at the hips. Arms draw forward to your halfway. And then release down. From here, if you'd like, if your fingertips reach, maybe just walk with the fingertips from one side to the other. Kind of doing a little bit of a twist here. Still waking up the hamstrings. And then returning to center. On that next inhale, half lift. So you can leave your hands dangling in front of you like before. Shoulder blades are squeezed together. Core is pulled in. Or if you want, you can bring the hands to the tops of the legs, either above or below the knees. Pushing into the legs to help open up the chest a bit more. Inhale and exhale. Hands come down to the mat. Working on that right leg now, so step that right foot back. Into the lunge. Left knee is at a 90-degree angle, stacked over the ankle. You've got the nice opening in the hip here with that back leg straight and strong on the ball of that back foot. Holding here for one more slow breath. And then working the hands down to the mat. Fingers are nice open wide, pressing into the palms, stepping that left foot back and coming into those gorgeous planks. You really want to think about having your hands nice and open here. Your middle finger should be pointed to the top of the mat. Your thumb should be stretched towards the opposite hand. You're kind of making sure you're distributing the weight evenly in your hands to take the pressure off of your wrist joints. So inhale here, and you can either do the knees, chest, chin we did earlier, or if you just want to lower yourself slowly with me here, chaturanga, and then releasing all the way down to the ground. Inhale, come up, maybe doing more of a deep cobra here. Not doing an upward facing dog. Try to keep those legs connected to the mat. Just opening up the spine a little bit more. Beautiful, guys. Exhale, release yourself slightly here. And you're going to come up to downward dog. Now, if you need to do hands and knees first, that's fine. Finding yourself to your down dog and holding here. Again, if you need to keep a little bend in the knees to have a straight spine, that's okay. Maybe pedaling the feet out again. You want to keep those ears between your biceps, pressing into the palms, feet are hip width distance apart. Last moment here. And then again, with the right side, inhale that right foot up. And then exhale, bring it to the front between the hands. Doing our little hip flexor warm up. Inhale to the top. Exhale, move the body back. One more of these. And then move that left foot to the front and exhale, fold. This is the last forward fold we're going to stay in. So go ahead if you like. You can grab the backs of the legs anywhere you like and use your hands to help pull you deeper into this fold. Release the hands, bend the knees, inhale, reverse swan dive, all the way up to the top. In these last few moments, just doing a little side work here. Imagine you're picking apples from a tree. We are outside in nature. So stretching one hand at a time, like you're reaching up to grab that beautiful piece of fruit. Just doing a little side to side movement. Last few moments here. And then back to center. Palms come together. Exhale, bring the hands down to the heart. Closing the eyes, taking a breath. So the next set will be moving with our breath. It'll be obviously much more fast-paced, but it'll still be the same basic sequence that we went through just now. If you'd like to take a little sip of water with me, go ahead and grab that now. You won't need your towel yet, but do have it nearby if you do want it for later on, okay? So hands at the side to begin, feet are hip width distance apart. And begin. Bend the knees, inhale, swoop those arms up, cervical back bend. Exhale, drawing the arms forward to forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. Left foot steps back. Hold for that inhale on the lunge. Exhale to plank. Stay here. Inhale. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, lowering yourself slowly. Inhale, swim through, upward facing dog, looking up. Exhale, down dog. Staying for 3 breaths in our down dogs. Settling here, getting a lovely inversion. Drawing fresh blood up to those beautiful brains of ours. Last moment here. And then left foot floats up behind you. Exhale, draw it to the front. Inhale, right foot forward. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive. And exhale, back down to the heart. Closing the eyes, taking a breath here. Open the eyes and begin. Bend the knees. Inhale into that cervical back bend. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. And exhale, hands come down. Right foot steps back into that lunge. Inhale here with the palms flat to the ground. And then exhale to plank. Take your breath in here. And then take your vinyasa, coming down to the mat. Inhale through. And exhale, down dog. Stay for 3 breaths. Maybe pedaling the feet out here if you still need to do that. Pushing weight evenly into the hands. Last breath here. And then inhale, right foot comes up. Exhale, bring it to the front. Inhale, left foot forward, and exhale, fold. Bend those knees. Inhale, come up. And exhale to the heart. Closing the eyes again here and taking your breath. All right, guys, so this will be our fast-paced sequence, but with the extras added in. So I do want you to have that towel nearby if you have some knee issues. Have it there. Maybe take a little drink of water with me before we start this last set of our sun salutations. Awesome. Starting in mountain pose here. Taking an inhale in. Exhale through the mouth. And begin. Inhale, swoop the arms up. Upper back bend. Exhale, all the way to the front and forward fold. Taking that half lift. And then hands come down to the mat. You're stepping that left foot back into a lunge. And this is where you're going to grab that towel if you like. Bringing it beneath the knees and drop that knee down to the mat. So coming up here to a nice lunge. You can keep your hands here on the top of the quadriceps, maybe interlace the fingers, and then pushing into the quadriceps. Start to back bend here a little bit, looking up at the sky. If you're steady, you can release those arms, float them forward and up, going into a crescent lunge. Nice. Coming up again to the top. We're going to do a little bit of twist here. So draw that right hand forward, left hand back. Twisting, looking over that left shoulder. Inhale, float to the top. Exhale, just wrap the arms around the body now. So left hand crosses to the front, right hand behind you, looking over the right shoulder now. Lovely. Inhale, float the arms up. And now you're going to bring the hands down to the ground, and you're going to turn that back knee so that the foot comes to the opposite side of the mat, I should say. And this keeps a 90-degree bend on that front leg. When you're steady here, you can walk the hands up to the top of that right leg. And then we're going to go into kind of a reverse, like peaceful warrior extended side angle. So inhale, float that right arm up and back. And then exhale, doing an extended side angle. So come to the top of that right leg. Left arm comes all the way over. Holding here for a deep breath. And then inhale back, peaceful warrior. Exhale, bring it to the front. Turning that back knee. Now we're going to be moving to Uttan Pristasana, lizard pose. So you can keep that towel on. It's a nice little padding for the knee. Drawing both hands so that they're inside that front foot. And you can stay here if this is where your body is today, up on the hands. That is great. If it is allowed for you today to come a little deeper, you can drop down to the forearms. Maybe clasping the hands here. When you've reached your maximum that you want to hold, close the eyes, release the head, relax your face. Holding here for several breaths. Allowing this lovely hip opener to settle in. One more moment here. And then slowly coming out of this, just the way you came in, bringing the hands to the ground if you did lower yourself. Walking that foot back, bringing the hands to the outside. We're going to pick up that back knee. You can release that towel if you like for now. And we're going to finish off our sun salutation sequence. So hands are pressed into the mat. Inhale. Exhale, step back to plank. Stay here for that in-breath. And then take the vinyasa. Coming down and through. And finding downward dog for 3 breaths. Last moment here. Inhale, left foot comes up behind you. And then draw it to the front. Inhale, right foot forward. And exhale, fold. Bend those knees, come on up. And then coming back to the heart, eyes closed, taking your moment here. Making sure that towel is handy for us to do the other side. Opening the eyes and beginning. Inhale, bend the knees, cervical back bend. Exhale to forward fold. Breathing into a half lift. And out, coming down to the ground, into that lunge. With the towel underneath your knee if you like that padding. Dropping that back knee, pointing that back foot, making sure you're at a 90-degree angle on the front knee. And when you're ready, drawing the hands to the top of that left quadricep. Pushing into the quadricep, creating a little more space in those hips and psoas muscles. If you're feeling the steadiness, you can go ahead and release the arms, float them up, interlace all but the first finger and the thumb, and going into that crescent lunge. Inhale, rise up. Doing the twist here now, so releasing the hands. Right hand floats back, left hand is to the front. Looking over behind you towards the right hand. And then breathing yourself all the way back up to the top and wrapping the arms around you. Right hand crosses across the front, left behind, and looking over the left shoulder now. Releasing that bind. And exhale, hands come down. We're moving here with the knee, so pointing that right foot towards the long edge of the mat. We're going to draw ourselves up, moving into that reverse warrior extended side angle here. So inhale, float yourself back, making sure that knee is nice and open, working into the hips, the inner groin area. Exhale, extended side angle. Nice side body stretches here while we're still working those gorgeous legs. And then again, that reverse, that peaceful warrior. And pinwheel the hands back to the front. Turn that back knee again. And we're working towards our lovely lizards. So, bringing that foot out. Again, if this is the level you're at, stay up on your hands. That is awesome. You stay here, you work with that. If it is available to you though, go ahead and lower yourself down. Relaxing the face, especially here, making sure you're not holding the breath in any weird way. You're not pinching anything here. Allowing the body to open up in a beautiful, beautiful manner. And to come out of this, slowly draw yourself up, first onto the hands if you were lower, and then bringing that foot, that left foot, inside. Picking up that back knee, releasing the towel if you used it. Holding yourself here, we're going to be moving to the rest of our sun salutation. So, stepping that foot back to plank, stay here for the in-breath. Exhale down. Inhale, swim through. And exhale, down dog for 3 breaths. Now this is our last down dog, so really enjoy it. I always say that on the last one because I want you to really settle in as much as you can, pushing those heels back, feeling all the benefits of this powerful pose. Last moment here. And on that inhale, float the right foot up. Exhale, bring it to the front. Inhale, left foot forward. And exhale, fold. Bend the knees, rise on up, palms touch. Exhale, back to the heart. closing the eyes, feeling all the awesome movements we just did, feeling the differences in the body, and just enjoying this moment. Okay, my friends, so I adjusted my mat a little bit so you can see me better. I want you to be facing the long side of the mat here, so we're going to open up our legs, working on the focus of today's practice, which of course is these gorgeous gams, as my grandmother would call them. So we're going to be moving into horse pose, which means your feet are going to be stepped a bit wider than your shoulders here. And this is a great squat for you to do to strengthen this whole lower body area. Turn the feet out, turning the toes out as much as you can. Hands come together at the heart to begin. And on your inhale, start to bend into the knees. You want to track those knees so that they come to about 90-degree angle, and the knees are tracked over the ankles so that the middle of your knee is pointed towards the second toe of your foot. That kind of gives you your alignment. Scoop that tailbone down and forward so you're not arching the back. This is all working into the lower legs, lower body. So hands together at the heart to begin. And then holding this lovely isometric hold, you're going to bring the hands to the top of the quadriceps. Just doing a little bit of shoulder work here. So drawing that left shoulder to begin down, looking over the right arm, right shoulder. Inhale, come up and switch sides. Moving with your breath here. Drawing yourself back up. Again, making sure that tailbone is scooped down and forward. You're not arching the lower back. Squatting deep. Starting to feel it in those lovely legs. A few more of these, guys. And coming back to center. Drawing the hands together. Maybe sitting just a little deeper, a little deeper. Hold, hold, hold. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then inhale, rise up. Point the toes to the front. Exhale, fold. We're going to move into Prasarita Padottanasana, which is legged forward fold. So maybe opening those feet up a little wider. And then letting the head hang forward. You can use the hands on the mat to help kind of draw your torso a little further down. Pushing into the hands. And now, straightening the back, we're going to move to Skandasana, lovely angle pose here. So we'll start on the right leg, being your mirror again. So turning that right foot out 90 degrees. Keeping the fingers down here for balance. You're going to start to sit over to the left, bending into that left knee. That right foot, of course, is going to flex up. If you can't get this left foot flat, it's fine. You can stay up on the ball of your feet, keeping your fingers here for balance. That is okay. You're still getting an awesome stretch here. All right? But try to work towards drawing that foot down. And then maybe just moving the hands a little forward into a fold. Walking the hands back. And if you can, stay here. If you need to come out of Skandasana, it's fine. You can just sit back. But try to stay here going into a twist. So left hand comes behind you. Right hand to the outside of that left leg. And twist yourself. Looking behind you. Awesome. Coming back to the front. And then using your hands here, help walk you over to the other side. So left foot now points out, bending into the right knee, settling yourself, sending yourself over to the right side. Hands come in front, and then do a little fold here, flexing that left foot very actively. And then working yourself to a twist if that is available to you. Drawing the right hand behind you, and then the left hand crosses over, pulling yourself, looking over behind you. Beautiful, guys. Coming back to the front, and then we're just going to flow to a few Skandasanas back and forth without that fold. So bending yourself up, sending over, and back and forth. Just kind of an active movement here now. Last one. And back to center into your Prasarita Padottanasana. From here, if you want to open those feet up just a little bit more, and then you can grab the big toe with those 2 fingers on each hand, pulling yourself a little bit further down. Or if you do want to involve the shoulders a bit more while you're releasing these legs, draw the hands behind you into a clasp and pull yourself up. Beautiful. Release those hands, draw the palms down to the earth, and then start to walk those feet heel toe together. All the way to Uttanasana. Bending the knees slightly, start to roll yourself up. Coming all the way to mountain pose. So after really working those legs and all the movement of sun salutation, I wanted to save the balance until after that so we can really absorb all of that deep work from the horse pose and the Skandasana. So we're going to be moving on to dancer's pose now, all right? So finding, I know I'm on a deck and the wood's a little bit wavy, but finding a flat spot here, you're going to find this, we're going to work on, I'll be your mirror still, we're going to work on the right side first. So, finding a flat spot for that right foot, stepping the left foot back, maybe just wiggling the toes on the right foot, and then zippering them down from the little toe to the big, picking up that back heel, pulling it flat. You're basically just trying to make a big, nice, beautiful platform with that right foot. Left foot steps beside it. And about 90% of your weight is now on the right foot. From this point, I want you to find a focal point, not me in this video, because I will move probably. So finding a spot you can keep your eyes locked on here, okay? That will be your drishti, your eye gaze, and you want it steady to help steady your body. So, finding that point, when you're ready, that left foot comes up from the ground. You're going to grab it with the left hand and then draw that left knee in line with your right knee. Now this is level 1. You can always stay here, maybe bring the right hand to the hip, getting a lovely quadricep stretch while working on balance. Or if you would like to go deeper, you can always release that right hand, float it up to the sky, and then start to hinge at the hips. So the right hand comes forward, and the left hand, left foot, all that floats up behind you. Holding here. Finding that beautiful steadiness. And then inhale. Slowly release up. And walk it out. Gorgeous, gorgeous. We are awesome dancers today, right? So now, other side, of course. Again, trying to find a flat spot here. Now with the left foot. So stepping the right foot back slightly, picking up the toes, maybe wiggling them a little bit. And then starting with the small toe, zipper them down to the mat, trying to widen that foot. Pick up the heel, pull it back. Really think of gripping the mat, giving you a nice base. Right foot steps beside it, shifting most of the weight over to that left side. And now finding your drishti, your focal point. Holding here for breath. And then release that right foot up towards the right hand, grabbing the top of that right foot. Left hand can stay on the left hip. If this feels good for you, stay here. Or to go deeper, floating that left hand up to the sky. And now hinging at the hips, drawing the torso towards the front, the lower body, lower leg anyway, back. Finding the spot that you can hold. And to release, slowly come up and draw it down. Awesome work, you guys. Balancing poses are so powerful because even though they may look easy when you see someone do them, it's so challenging in so many ways. So it's a great way to kind of quiet the mind as well, to really bring the focus inward, okay? So next we're going to be moving on to our seats and everything, doing a couple of seated poses. So maybe take a drink of water, find a seat on your mat. I'll see you there. Okay, my friends, so we are moving down to the mat now, still working with a bit of focus on the legs. We're going to go into our lovely Gomukhasana, okay? So to start, we're going to get our legs and then we'll move up to the arms. So we're going to draw one knee in. I can be your mirror again here, so draw that left knee in. Your right knee is going to come towards the front, so it's pointed out, okay? You can point that back foot or keep it flexed, whatever feels best for you here. And then picking up the left leg, crossing it over. You're trying to stack your knees. You can kind of look at them and you want them in one line. If you don't get there, that's okay. Just work as much as you can. What this is really great for are the hips, okay? So this is a lovely seated pose to kind of incorporate some work here into our hips. So stacking those knees on top of each other. And now we're going to work into our arms because we're going to be here for a few minutes, let the hips take in that lovely pose. So whichever leg is on top, the opposite arm is up top. Okay, so we've got our left leg here, which means our right arm is going to float up. And then bending into that elbow, drawing the hand towards the back. Left arm floats out, and then you're going to turn it so that the palm is facing back. And you're basically trying to bring the hands together into a bind behind your back. If you can't reach, no worries, do not hurt yourself. Maybe just have the fingertips touching, but this is the way that your hands are going to be pointed in opposite directions. This is really lovely, of course, for our shoulders, but you're also getting a little bonus tricep stretch here on the right arm. So holding here when you've settled, taking a few breaths. Trying to get both of those sit bones connected to the ground so that you are getting the maximum out of this pose on your lower bodies. And begin by releasing the arms, maybe just float them out, stretch them open wide, looking up, and release. We're working towards the other side now, so uncross the legs. Bringing that left leg on bottom, left knee is pointed towards the front, and then picking up the right, crossing it over, trying to draw those knees so that they are line one stack on top of the other. And then of course now we've got our right leg on top, so our left arm will be pointed up. So draw that arm up, bending into the elbow so that the palm of the hand comes towards the spine, right arm floats out, palm facing back, bending into that elbow, trying to draw the hands together into that beautiful bind. Making sure you're not overarching here, you're not putting strain on the back. Really try to keep yourself in one straight line. Stretching into those shoulders, settling here. Final moments here, really enjoying the beautiful Gomukhasana. And then release, opening up those arms nice and wide. Exhale, back to the center. Beautiful. We're going to be moving long ways on the mat now. Release those legs slowly, turning yourself here, extending those legs out nice and straight. Now we're going to be going towards Janu Shirshasana, which is forehead to knee, head to knee pose, okay? So I'll work on the left side here so you can see it better. Draw that left knee into the chest, sitting up nice and tall at first, and then opening that left knee, so it's almost like you're doing the butterfly, the cobbler pose, opening it and bringing that left inner foot, your left foot to the inner thigh on the right leg, okay? So we can stay here if this feels like a good enough stretch for you. If you want to stay, I'm not going to push you, I'm not going to force you, but I would invite you to try to fold forward over the straightened leg here. Sometimes people just stop right here because they're like, my hips are too tight, this is where I am. Like, cool. But if it's available to you, you're going to turn the torso towards that straight leg. Inhale. And then slowly release down. Walking the hands, rolling the hands down that right leg. Wherever you can go, of course, reaching anywhere you can. And then using your hands to help pull you deeper into this. So you're trying to draw the forehead towards that knee. Okay? If you do feel too much pressure on your knee, you can allow a little micro bend. That's good, that's fine. Just don't let yourself pop up too much. Okay? So giving yourself a little bit of room here if you need it in the knees. Relaxing the head down. You can stay here, or maybe if you want to do a little bit of variation, keeping this forward fold, maybe bringing that right elbow towards the inside, maybe drawing that left arm back, doing a bit of a spinal twist work while you're here, wrapping that left arm behind you, coming to the top of the right leg into a bind. We're still working into those hamstrings in particular, but you can kind of play around, adjust the body in ways, getting extra work. And then to release, slowly roll yourself all the way up. We're going to be moving to Krunasana. I can never say this one. Heron pose is our vernacular here today, which is a very intense hamstring stretch. And that is our focus today, is our legs, in particular our hamstrings. But this can be a bit of a challenge for some people, especially if you do have knee issues. So if you have a history of knee problems, keep yourself in this seated position with the left leg like this. But if it is available to you and you want to go into the regular formation of heron pose, you're going to draw this into a half virasana, Ardha Virasana, half hero pose. So which means drawing the top of that left foot so that it comes right outside that left hip. Okay? This can be very intense for people that do have knee problems, so be very respectful of yourself here. All right? When you have this, you're going to bend that right knee and then draw your arm to the inside of your right leg to begin. Your right hand crosses over to the outside of that right foot. Now from here, I want you to make sure that you do have a good seat. Your sit bones are connected here. It's going to give you your balancing points. Crossing that right hand over. Left hand comes to the bottom as well. And then you're going to start to draw that foot up to the sky. Now, your balance point is right behind those sit bones, so you want to be a little bit spaced behind, and you want to hold here. The fun thing about heron pose is obviously you're getting a lovely lengthening in your hamstring. You're also getting this bonus of your left knee being stretched very nicely, and you can kind of play with this pose a little bit. It's kind of fun. I think it's fun. Maybe I'm weird. You can kind of bring this one hand, the left hand behind you, maybe pull this up a little deeper, kind of going into a twist. You can play with it. I mean, it's one of my favorite things about yoga is you don't just go into a pose and stay there and be very serious. You can move with your body. You can work with what you like and kind of get those little extra moments in. All right. So holding here for just another moment, really trying to make sure that you're keeping that chest open. And then when you're ready, slowly release that leg down. Releasing the left and coming into a cobbler pose to just sort of reset before we move to the other side. Maybe turning long ways on the mat. Wrapping the hands around the feet. Holding here, closing the eyes. Resetting here in Baddha Konasana. Okay, my friends. So going through that sequence of the Jani Shirshasana to the Heron Pose, Kruntasana again, but on the opposite side, of course. So I'll turn this way, extending those legs straight out, long ways on the mat. First starting in Dandasana, of course, and then we're going to move into bringing that right knee in towards you, opening it up, finding the proper space on your mat. Left leg is straight, left foot is flexed. And then again, staying here if you're at that level, or folding forward over that extended leg. Finding the maximum place that you can hold here, the edge of your comfort zone, just a little beyond it, right? And when you do find that maximum spot, hold on to your leg anywhere you can. Use the strength of your arms to help take you deeper. Allowing a little micro bend here if you feel some tension, too much pressure on the knees. Closing the eyes and relax. All right, slowly coming out of this. And we're moving towards Heron Pose, which means staying here in this seated position if you need, or if you'd like to join me with the Ardha Virasana half hero, draw that knee up, bringing the top of the foot to the outside of the hip, making sure that you're nice and gentle with your knees here, pulling out that tissue, that flesh behind the knees, allowing a good alignment here. And then finding that grounding spot here on your sit bones. When you find this steady spot, bending that left knee, drawing it in towards you. Left arm comes to the inside, crosses over in front of the shin, and you find the bottom of the foot. And when you are ready, you're going to start to pick up that foot and extend the leg. Again, keeping this little micro bend here if you do need it for the knees. I keep a small bend just because I have crepitus, I have crunchy knee issues. So, being gentle with our bodies, strengthening it but not injuring it. All right? Playing here if you like, pulling the leg up higher, maybe releasing one hand behind, doing a little balance challenge or a twist, looking over behind you. The important thing here is to really try to keep those sit bones connected down and to keep this leg engaged so you're really working all the muscles here. Okay? Back is straight, opening that chest. A few more moments here. And gently release your leg down, release that half hero pose, and find your way back to butterfly. It's a nice reset of your hips, your knees. Closing the eyes again. All right, guys, so opening those eyes, we're going to move to our backs for one final thing before Shavasana. You'll see I have a lovely blanket here, so if you're outdoors like me, hopefully you brought something if it's getting a little chilly out here, so I'm glad I have this near me so I can actually enjoy that beautiful Shavasana at the end. One more thing, we're going to roll down onto our back, do a little core work while we get there, right? So start to roll yourself down, coming all the way to the mat. And we're going to do an inversion, but it's going to be a nice, simple one after all the intensity of Heron Pose, especially, and Skandasana and Horse Pose. I'm going to take it easy on you here. We're just going to do Viparita Karani, which means legs up the wall. It's the nicest, gentlest inversion that there is for our lower body. So straighten those legs out. And then you're going to bring the hands beside the body so the palms are facing down. And you're going to be drawing your legs up so that basically your body is making a right angle Okay, now if you need to bend the knees, you can do that. But if you can, just keep those legs straight. Engage the lower abdominal muscles. Push the lower back into the ground. Start to lift those legs up, drawing them up slowly so that they are pointed straight up to the sky. And you do want to keep your feet flexed. You can point them if you want, but really if you keep them flexed, you're engaging these muscles a little bit more, getting a bit more of a benefit here. All right. We're just going to hold here for a few breaths. This is a static pose. It's an inversion. It's basically, it's got a lot of benefits, but the inversions are particularly helpful in bringing fresh blood flow to areas and helping in your circulation. And it also, mentally, it kind of helps you see the world in different ways. Like normally this is not a part of your daily life, is having your feet up like this, right? So this is sort of a funny little way to challenge the mind while your body is also getting a workout. It's awesome. All right. So holding here for a few more breaths. If you want, as long as your legs are up, you can go ahead and do a little play with it. Maybe lower one leg. Just getting a little bit of movement here. Opening the legs up a bit. And then hands are glued down to the mat. You're going to start to slowly lower the legs here. Coming towards, you got it, Shavasana. So pushing that lower back into the mat. Using all those abdominal muscles. And release. Working towards our final pose. Maybe getting that blanket if you have one and you need it with me. Just giving yourself a little bit of extra comfort here. And in Shavasana, you do want to try to imagine melting your body to your mat as much as you can, kind of releasing it all. So your feet are going to naturally open out. Your arms going to be relaxed by your side. You want your palms facing up so that your shoulder blades can connect to the ground better. Arms relaxed to the side. Eyes are closed. You're going to give yourself several moments here. So just maybe do a quick mental check and think of all of the work that you did today. The challenges that you embraced, not just on the mat with me, but your entire day. All the experiences that you had, the little adventures, the learning moments in particular. They can be positive or negative, but as long as you learn something, there was a purpose to it, right? So thinking of all of the parts of your day, and then understanding that every experience you've had a purpose. There was a reason for it. It helped move you further along in your path. So embracing all of the good and the bad as much as possible. Feeling the heaviness of your body, the quieting of your mind, and the peace in your heart. When you're ready to come back to this present moment, begin by just moving your fingers and your toes, starting to wake up the body, small movements, maybe making circles into the wrist and the ankles, moving the knees slightly. And then one leg at a time, draw the knees up to the chest, giving yourself a humongous hug here. Giving yourself a lot of love, appreciating all of that work we've done, squeezing it all. And you're going to roll onto the right side so that your left shoulder is facing up to the sky. Position myself. And it's like a fetal position here. Just rolling over to the side. Knees are stacked on top of each other. Left hand is in front of you on the mat. And then keeping the eyes closed still if possible. Pushing into that left hand and the right arm. Bringing yourself up to your final seated position. Maybe just doing a Sukhasana cross-legged, or a half or full lotus, whatever you feel like for these final moments. Sitting up nice and tall, face is still fully relaxed with eyes closed. And then bringing your hands together at your heart. I'm going to finish today's lovely Hatha practice with 3 Oms. On the inhale, moving the hands in a circle up overhead the body until the palms touch. And on the exhale, drawing the hands down the center line back to the heart and chanting Om if you wish. So exhaling fully, pressing the hands a little tighter together. And begin. Inhale those arms open wide. Palms touch and Om. Second time, inhale, arms wide. And last, deep inhale. Really enjoying the lovely vibration that the Oms create throughout your whole being. Feeling gratitude for the work you've done. Taking this feeling of contentment, of peace, off the mat and into the rest of your life, the rest of your day. I thank you for joining me here for today's practice. Please feel free to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you would like. And I will see you again on the mat very soon. Namaste.